Yo, 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 it's your boy Vigilante Styles here with another late night mix session. Uh oh, what is this? God, he can't make up his fucking mind, can he, right? He's got FL Studio up again. Why are you mixing in that? Why are you doing that? Okay, let me explain. Here's the reason. So, I had a discussion with a friend earlier where we talked a little bit about the Dr. Dre sound. And I go, well, Dr. Dre had used an SSL 4000E series console, and, you know, so I was telling him, like, yeah, he used that. And he's like, well, I wonder if we can get that sound in the box. And I said, well, I don't know. Let me try all the plugins that I have, including Harrison Mixbus and all this other stuff, and substitute some analog obsession plugins in there and stuff like that, and just kind of A B back and forth till I feel that the mix that I'm doing on a beat that's kind of similar to something that he would make, kind of got in the ballpark, if you so to speak, of tone and vibe, really, you know? So I really messed around. I had Waves EV2, right? The SSL EV2. I messed around with that. And it sounded like, to me, right? It sounded like it was too clean on the top. The stuff that I was hearing from Dr. Dre had a very smooth top end, not very clean top end. And then I tried same thing with Harrison Mixbus. I love. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not using Harrison Mixbus, guys. I'm just decided that its main thing that it's really good at for me is that I can mix audio to video with that, and that's probably what I'm going to use it for. And just keep music related stuff to FL Studio. So besides, FL Studio 21 is coming out soon, so definitely want to upgrade to that. I'll probably, like I said, I'm going to want to do everything in FL Studio anyway. But I don't hate Harrison Mixbus, okay? I think I've made that clear in my other video why I'm back on it. But it's probably not going to be my main mixing tool. I mean, it is an audio engineer's dream in a way, just the way that it's set up. But bringing BX Console doesn't work well in it, okay? And I mean, it works, but you have BX Console is made to be a console sound already by itself. So anything that you use with it, like if you were using Harrison Mixbus, well, that's supposed to be a console. So you have a console within a console, and that's confusing. The way it sounds, it becomes extremely muddy sounding. I didn't like the way that those mixes turned out that way. This is intended to be basically used on its own in your own DAW. So and basically you're supposed to turn your DAW into the console by slapping the channel strips across your whole session, and then changing the channels. And in this case, I randomize the channels first before I start mixing so that it's spread out across the console. So in this case, I mean, if we're trying to chase that sound, I found some interesting things. So let's go to the internet real quick. Take a look at good old Dr. Dre. There he is, the diggity Dr. Dre, right? And we saw that his mixing console that he used over at Can-Am Studios was up on the market, which apparently was bought by Chris Lord Alge. So Chris Lord Alge ended up buying this console. And one thing that I noticed, maybe something that you haven't noticed here, there's the picture of the console right there. So we have, see, this doesn't zoom in very well, but there's the bus compressor, right? And it says SSL 4052E up there, by the way. So these other knobs here, I think, are like going to the buses or something. I'm not really sure, but I know that these are the EQ right here. This is the EQ and the dynamic sections up here, right? So you would work the compressor, whatever, and then you would go down to the EQ, right? So that's the workflow of it. And I noticed on the EQ, right, most of the SSL 4000E plugins always have black knob, right? The black knob EQ, but Dr. Dre used the brown knob EQ. Here's another picture of it zoomed in. You see here, this is the bass frequency section here, and they're not black knobs, they're brown knobs. So I said, wow, that's his sound, right? Is the sound that we like, the death row Dr. Dre, right? like they were using a brown knob EQ on an SSL 4000E series. So I said, well, okay, if I'm going to create that sound, I felt like the Brainworks really got really close, right? And I know that they also printed to a tape machine. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and close these out now. I went ahead and I got this, right? So here's the console, but we see that the black knobs are engaged. So you just hit EQ type, and now we have the brown knob. And that's basically what Dr. Dre was using to mix on, and he didn't do much outboard, so he always did everything on the console. And that's what we're gonna do today. This beat is definitely not a Dr. Dre sounding beat, but I'm gonna mix. I'm gonna mix with the brown knob EQ. Of course, with Brainworks, you use the Townhouse bus compressor. Sure, it looks different, but it operates the same as the center section, or they call it the quad compressor on an SSL 4000 console. And this actually, if you don't know the history of the Townhouse bus compressor, it was made from parts sent to them by SSL to the Townhouse Studios, and they recreated it. And it was for a B series SSL 4000, which was just before they made the 4000E series. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if they had a C or a D series, but all I know is they had B, and then all of a sudden it's E, right? Well, in this case, the compressor wasn't that much different. As a matter of fact, I also found out that the channel compressors were basically the bus compressor. They were like, it's strange. That's why if you get the 4KB plugin from SSL, you're like, why is there a bus compressor on this? Isn't this supposed to be a channel compressor? It's the same compressor. It's the same one. It's the same one that they used as the bus compressor is the channel compressor too. So I think they probably carried that over into the later version SSL consoles as well. So essentially, you're having the same compressor. So basically, the E-Series channel compressor is probably not going to be that much different from the bus compressor. Even though this is a B-Series bus compressor, it still sounds really good and sounds, I mean, it has that SSL vibe, you know? So anyway, we're going to start mixing. I'm not going to slap tape on it until the end, right? Because I want to mix, and then we'll do the tape after the fact. So I guess I'm going to go on airplane mode here. You know why I do that? Because I don't want to get notifications while I'm working. I don't like that. I don't like a bling, somebody sent you a message kind of thing. Or boom, you have an email. I don't like those interrupting me while I'm working. So anyway, let's get going on this mix. So I'm going to mute the mic and we're going to go. Yeah, so there it is. God, that mix came together fast, bro. Fast. So, I mean, that's why, okay, I know I go through the rigmarole and I go through the chaos of checking out my different plugins, checking them out in Plugin Doctor, telling you one day that I'm doing it this way, then changing it to the next thing or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong, excuse me, with the good old classic Dr. Dre sound. And to me, it sounds like that's the tone. You know, that's the tone. That's the vibe. That's the kind of the clarity of his albums. Was like that right there. So simple, you know. I know I made a video about the Serban Gania sound, and the mix there didn't really come together like a true Serban mix because I was working with already like half processed stems, you know, instead of actually getting raw multi tracks to work with. But even then, like that was still kind of like the basis behind his sound. But there was a lot of other stuff like in Serban sound that they don't really tell you. They have like a proprietary chain, mix bus chain that we don't know. So I kind of subbed in the God particle for that, you know, and they had like certain they only revealed like part of their vocal chain and stuff, but like Dr. Dre's like he just uses the console and that's it. Like I mean when it came to like vocals and stuff, it was very simple. DBX 160, I think Neve 1073 mic preamp. So like a Sony C800 microphone going into a 1073 mic pre, and I guess that would go to a tape or something. But then after that, it would go into the SSL 4052E series brown knob EQ, and he would just work that. And then like they had like a hardware de-esser that they routed out to, and that was it. So actually, to do that, you just put the de-esser after the channel strip, and you're good. You're good. I guess it would come back into the desk, and then I'll go through the bus compressor and then into master tape, right? So I mean, that was that. And I mean, these plugins check out. I check them in Plugin Doctor. I've already said it in many other videos. Brainworks plugins are legit. Slate plugins are legit in Plugin Doctor. So you're gonna get a good sound. I think my issue sometimes was like, well, what about aliasing and stuff like that? If there's aliasing, I don't hear it. You know, ultimately the tone is all that I'm trying to focus on. You know, and at the end of the day, the tone sounds like it's there. So I mean, that's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter like if it visually looks good, as long as it sounds right, you know. And it sounds right. And these EQs don't cramp that I know of, you know. I never saw them cramp. SSL EQs typically don't cramp. So I was like, this is everything that I want. Some people can be picky about it and say, well, the compressor doesn't respond like the real one. Eh, well, what's the real one? It's just a bus compressor. You know, I mean, that's all really it is. The bus compressor is the channel compressor. So, I mean, so what? You know, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, right? As long as it sounds in the vibe I'm looking for. The vibe I'm looking for is classic Dr. Dre, and I think it sounds like it. You might not, but I don't care. It needs to matter to me, right? So if it sounds good to me, then it's fucking good, you know. Now, you know, I've had my issues. I like the Harrison Mixbus software just because I like the way that it's laid out. I like the look of the console and stuff, and I like sometimes how a mix can come together really quickly there too, for the most part. But I mean, this is fast. That was fast, right? There was nothing slow about that. I can do this in FL Studio. It didn't take me forever to set this up either. Very quick. So I mean, nowadays it doesn't matter what DAW you're using, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, use what you like. Use what you like. For instance, FL Studio, I cannot do video. I cannot do audio for video in FL Studio. I cannot have a. Yes, they do have a video screen thing, but I can't render a video file. So like, I can't go mix the audio in here, and then render into a video file on FL Studio. I can do that in Harrison Mixbus though. So that's what it's going to be used for, because I do have times when I do need to use it for that. So that's going to be that. I know you can do it in Pro Tools also, right? But I prefer using Harrison for that. Harrison's actually kind of geared toward film anyway. Like that's what their thing is. Their consoles are big in the film world, right? And TV world. So and that's where they're king. They're king of film and TV. Like all your favorite movies, right? We talk about like all your favorite music from back in the day was mixed on SSL consoles and maybe some Harrisons way back in the day. But all your favorite movies, for the most part, are mixed on Harrison consoles, right? The motion picture console. Like all the big, super huge, high budget movies are on a Harrison motion picture console. So why not just use that for that reason? They're really good with video and film, right? And then so it's really good if I want to mix the audio to some kind of video, and then it'll render a video file in Harrison Mix Bus. I think that's superb, because I like the fact that everything's just set up, right? I don't have to go, like, if I were to do this in Pro Tools, I have to go pick my plugins and stuff. And let's be honest here, you don't really hear a lot of movies mixed on SSL 4000s. I don't think any have been, to be honest. But if you want to in a box SSL sound because you're chasing a certain vibe of whatever for music, right? Then this makes sense, right? Just use it here, right? Just do it in your favorite DAW, whatever that may be. You like Ableton, do it there. If you like, Logic, do it there. If you like FL Studio like I do it here. If you like Reason, you already have your own SSL in there. You have this SSL mixer. It probably doesn't sound the same as this. It's not a 4000. It's like basically it's just a digital SSL. So what, use it if you like it. If you don't, I'm sure you could probably slap plugins into it. I don't know. So that's kind of what I've figured. I know I go through the rigmarole. I go through the chaos in my mind over this, and I think about it a lot. And let's be honest here, I'm not. I have the time to think about it. Like I work and then I go home, and that's all I do. Like I don't have a significant other that I go see. I don't have any kids, none of that stuff. So I can focus my mind on these things and kind of come to a logical conclusion, what I think would be, the sound that I'm looking for. So basically, I don't know, I'm just completely wrapped up in my own mental world here. And you guys get to get sucked into it on my YouTube channel, but if you're like me, why not? If you don't want to go through the suffering like I've gone through, then, just watch my videos and I'll go through the suffering for you about trying to figure out what's best for what we're looking for. So, like, because I know you can get the sound in the box. Okay, that's another thing. They have some videos where they said, no, it's impossible to get an in-a-box sound that sounds like the consoles. Bullshit, right, on that. Yes, you can, but you got to know which plugins give you the sound, because they're not all plugins are made the same, and not all plugins are honest, right? Not all software is honest. Not all software developers are honest. So you have to go and test it for yourself. That's why we have Plugin Doctor, but also use your ears, right? So Brainworks checks out with Plugin Doctor and checks out with my ears. I'm happy with that. But also, Harrison does not necessarily check out with Plugin Doctor, but it does check out with my ears also for certain purposes. And I know I got a guy who's kind of going through the mental chaos with me, because like we bagged on the Harrison software because it wasn't really giving us the console vibe. It didn't check out with Plugin Doctor, but then we were like, we like the workflow, right? And I was like, yeah, I do kind of like the workflow of it. But at the same time, there's a sound I'm chasing. And that sound that's been... Because here's the thing, right? I'm in my 40s, right? Early 40s. And so I'm telling you guys about my age. It is what it is. So my era coming up, when music became like the best thing in the world to me, would be about 1989. So I was about 9 years old then, to 1990, 2009, roughly, right? So basically that 10-year window. But my favorite music in terms of sound quality probably came out about 1994 to like 1996, right? That's like, to me, I think the best sound quality music wise was 94 to 96 for the hip hop music, because I was into hip hop music and I still am. So for me, I liked a lot of West Coast music at the time because it was mixed better. Don't get me wrong, we can argue about Tribe Called Quest, right? Their music was always mixed really well. But for the most part, a lot of East Coast stuff was really like sounded like it was done with like Radio Shack shit, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. It's what it sounded like. Like it was just a bunch of crap from Radio Shack they made music on. Like, I'm not saying like the like the turntables or the drum machines or the keyboards and stuff that they were using. It was just like the way it was mixed. It just sounded like they just mixed it through some like Radio Shack cheap ass mixer, or like something you got at Guitar Center. And the reason why I say that is because Guitar Center didn't sell SSL consoles that I could think of. And it's not all East Coast shit was like that. For me, it was like a lot of it because it was so grimy. But that's cool. It had a good vibe too, but it just wasn't. To me, I thought sonically, West Coast music sounded better in terms of quality because they were using synths and stuff, and they were going to high-end studios, which all had SSL consoles, right? So that's why I kind of chased that sound, because the records that really stand out to me, for quality, are Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre's first Chronic album, not 2001. I think 2001 is way too loud. Okay, I'm sure it's mixed okay, but it's just way too loud. So I don't chase that sound. I think that's too too just too much. It was too much for me, right? But I like the Chronic 1993. I like the Doggy Style. I like the Murder Was the Case. I like the Above the Rim soundtrack. This is all Death Row shit, by the way. So that's another thing. It's all Death Row shit. Above the Rim soundtrack. Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Once again, all Death Row shit. And I thought that music was just like mixed to perfection. Mastered to perfection. Everything was perfect about it. Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999. Now that was on a different SSL console than what they used at Death Row, but still it sounds great. So definitely I was chasing that sound as well. Easy E stuff when he wasn't with Dre, you know, when they were beefing. I think the quality of his album at that time, that it's on Dre, Killa, whatever album, that one with the Real Motherfucking G song on it. Anyway, that one, I felt like that one was mixed really well, had good sound quality to it. God, like I said, as mentioned, East 1999, also like Creeping on a Come Up, Bone Thugs. All that stuff was mixed on SSL consoles of different types. And they were on the 4000 series. So that's another thing too, because I know, like, I have the 9000J plug-in. Everybody's like, "Ooh, I like the 9000J sound," and I'm like, I don't like it. It's cool. I mean, I do like it. I just don't like it on everything, right? I think SSL 4000 plugins are like, you could put it on everything. It's like salt, pretty much, or sugar. You can put it on pretty much everything. So that's why I really like the sound of that plugin. That's the sound that I'm chasing, is that era. So just to get everybody up to speed as to like what I'm trying to do. Trap music's a little different. Drill and all sort of stuff, you gotta mix that kind of stuff. They have a certain vibe too. I think that most of that stuff is mixed really bad, and I'm trying to figure out, like, well, could I just give it that classic sound, or basically sound quality, and it still sound really good, and still sound very relevant and modern? I think so. Because the SSLE plugins are a bit brighter. Well, Yeah, well, not brighter. They're just not as mid-rangey as the G series was or is. So if I use the SSL 4000G plugin, it's going to be kind of warmer sounding. It's got more mid-range punch. So it's not probably well suited for trap or drill music. Although you could mix anything, whatever the hell, what the fuck, But I like to recreate consoles because I like the sound quality of stuff mixed through consoles. Some people don't like that. They probably go, "Oh, I don't like the music of that era. I like all my shit." They like this, man. They want this plug-in on everything, dude. Sound Goodizer. Sound Goodizer. They want that shit over everything, man. They go, man, it's not a record, so you put Sound Goodizer on it. Well, anyway, fuck that, man. Fuck that shit. That's not for me, man. I'm not chasing that sound. That's a terrible sound, man. That's that Sound Goodizer. It's a Sound Badizer. That's where it is. So, anyway, I digress. Look, I don't want to make this a 2-hour video of me talking. So, as you saw, the mix came together quickly, and you know my philosophy behind why I'm doing things the way I'm doing. And who knows, maybe in my next video I change everything up and I go, well, I know I said this last time, but now I'm going to do it this way. Well, not necessarily. I don't know. I know my pattern, right? My mental pattern. I usually stick with this one for a while and before I go, okay, let's try something else. But I don't know. I can't really see that there's any reason to. I mean, I felt like a lot of the times I wasn't getting the sound that I wanted. I was getting close, but I wasn't really getting it. And I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds. So, I mean, for now, that sounded pretty damn good. But I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at today on it. I know a lot of other YouTubers, they're like so professional about their videos and stuff, and they probably don't let those kind of thoughts come out on air, but it is what it is. We all go through it. A lot of us go and sit there and go, I have too many damn plugins and there's a certain sound that I'm chasing. Because for me, I don't want to be like inconsistent. Like, oh, okay, on this album, I'm going to do it this way. The next one, I'm going to do it that way. Maybe on the same album, I'm going to do it 10 different ways. I don't want to do that. I want to have a simplistic workflow. I do. I mean, same thing like, like Serban. Perfect example. He's still using an old channel strip from like ages ago. And he's got the new plugins, but he only has them because they get Pro Tools sessions where these plugins are slapped on their session. So otherwise, his system is consistent. It's always the same. So when you go to him for a certain sound, he's always able to give you that sound. And even when they want to try to emulate like a sound of yesteryear and stuff like that, he's still going to his same base workflow and just kind of adding maybe a new plugin here and there for a certain vibe. And it works for him. And I'm kind of trying to go through that myself. Going, what is my bass setup? What are my chains, that I like? And I might like something today and then tomorrow hate it. And then like 2 weeks later, like it again. I don't know. But I kind of feel that one day I'm going to get some kind of, I'm going to figure it out, right? And go, okay, this is it. This is the sound that I like to do. These are the plugins that get it done. And I'm good. I'm not buying any more damn plugins. Matter of fact, this Black Friday, I didn't buy shit for the first time in a while. Okay? And don't get me wrong, I saw the 1 million emails. And I was like, I didn't buy shit. So, there's that, So anyway, you guys be good, man. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you like to hear me rant, I got plenty of rants. Feel free to watch all my other videos and listen to my reasoning. And I mean, I always give good reasons as to why I'm doing things, and then I change it. But I don't know, it is what it is. But hopefully I can find some equilibrium in my mind about these issues. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch my other videos. I got plenty of them. I'm mixing on all sorts of different shit, different plugins, you name it. Different songs, different genres. So, If hip hop isn't your thing, I probably mixed a rock song somewhere. I probably mixed a jazz song somewhere. So definitely check those out. Um, and that's about it. So anyway, it's your boy Vigilante Styles, man. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna rest my mind, and you guys be good. Until we meet again, I'm out. Peace.